What is going on, YouTube? This is my 3 year sober video, and I'll just kind of walk you through a little bit of what's going through my mind. My 3 year sober date, well, my sober date is April 2nd, but it actually kind of crept up on me, and I was like, oh shit, it's going to be 3 years sober in the next couple days here. And I think that just kind of shows you the proof in the pudding of the way that I chose to be sober, which is you're not so much focusing on the amount of time that you're sober as much as you are just filling in a new way of life. And this is my cat Pumpkin. Come on, Pumpkin. Say hi to the camera, Pumpkin. Um, but it's not so much about how much sober time that you've accrued as it is just learning to live a new life. And in that way, that's how the 3 years kind of snuck up on me, is that you no longer are just focusing on stringing the days together as much as you are putting together a new life for yourself. And it's the dates kind of become arbitrary, much like the number on a scale can become arbitrary when you get into fitness, and you might have a goal weight that you want to be, but then you kind of break down like, what is the importance of this weight? It's more about the way that you feel and the way that you look, right? So for me, it's not about, oh, I have to get to 3 years, I have to get to 4 years, I have to get to 5 years. It's about finding a life that is fulfilling and sustaining, and then the number of days sober just kind of becomes irrelevant. So I think in the beginning, it can be very beneficial to log your days and your progress, but as you grow this new life, that part just becomes less and less important. And it I'm sure it'll get to a point where I'll have to actually think, or like maybe the day will come and pass sometimes, and it just is not as important as it used to be. At this point in my life, I look back at older videos and older pictures, and I was actually just talking last night with some of my friends about it, and that person looks like a different person. And in a lot of ways, I've gotten to a point where I don't even remember what it was like to be that person. And that's great, but when I found this video because my girlfriend bought me a breathalyzer, and she would say like, hey, like when I call you, I want you to blow into this breathalyzer and show me that you're sober. And so I would film myself doing that ahead of time, and then I would go out and I would drink, or I'd get alcohol and I'd come home and I'd be drinking when I'm here, and then she would text me, and then I would send her that video. And it just kind of goes to show you the level of manipulation that I was okay with doing, and the kind of person that I was, that I knew I was being a liar and very manipulative, and I was dishonoring the trust of the person that loves me most in this world, and yet I was willing to do that to get to the goal of drinking. And now you can almost still take that as a very goal oriented mind. And my goal was to consume alcohol every day. And what I've done is I've harnessed that skill set and that ingenuity into a different pattern. And now I have different goals. So at this point, my goals are, you know, saving up money, diversifying money, and investing in stuff, and trying to be more proactive with my future, and just setting new goals, short, medium, and long term goals, and making sure that my life is fulfilling and sustaining. And that's what I have now. Like now, when I look back at 3 years, all of the people in my life are supportive, beneficial people. And that was all a byproduct of that very important part of the beginning, which is being very open and honest about it, and allowing people to shed off out of your life that you don't need in your life anymore. And especially in the beginning, it can be kind of crazy, because you're like, I'm literally cutting people out of my life, but it's a necessary part of the process of the transformation. Um, as of right now, I mean, like, I don't have these like feelings of like, wow, like now it's 3 years, or like now it's going to be 4 years. Like I have hit this rhythm where there's a lot of transformation and change in the beginning, and then you kind of just hit this new kind of way of living, and the days just kind of go forward, and the pangs and the aches and the depression and the anxiety and all of those things are distant memories, and all of the stresses that I have now are all healthy stresses and beneficial stresses, because like I've said in the past, when you take yourself from an active alcoholic and you raise yourself to normal people still have their day-to-day struggles and things happen in our lives, but it's nowhere near the darkness that you have subjected yourself to when you're actively drinking. Um, at this point, I'm still just kind of blown away by all the response I get from people, and I get people hitting me up from all over the place, and sometimes they just need to talk, and I'm always here for that. If you guys don't know my Instagram, it's Celtic Jumper. And I still have Facebook Messenger, but I don't have Facebook anymore. I don't have Snapchat. I don't have Twitter. I've deleted all of that. And so I'm just on Instagram, and I feel like that allows my mental state to be a lot more open as well. And I've talked about in previous videos I think the downfalls of being too involved into social media and how it's just a big time waster, and you find yourself just kind of getting stuck in that, and you constantly compare yourself to these advertised lives of everyone else, and everyone's doing it to one another, and you can find yourself being really depressed and feeling isolated. So I really try to limit that as much as possible. But point being is that people will reach out to me on those platforms, and they talk to me about what they're going through and why they feel like they can't stop drinking, and I will always take time out of my day to make sure that I'm responding to those people, because in short, I am a prime example of what this transformation does to you as a person and as a mindset. Because 3 years ago, like no one was asking me for advice on anything, and because also I didn't know, I was just some dude that drank all the fucking time, and by just being open and honest and sharing things with people, they realize, well, this guy is doing it, so how is he doing it? And this is just a method that has worked for me. And I think the most quintessential part of it is the openness and the honesty about it. And the amount of depression that we feel from this isolation is gone because you stop isolating yourself. And when people are like, oh, I can't stop drinking, and I'm like, okay, have you admitted that you're an alcoholic? And have you told everyone in your life? And I mean your coworkers, your boss, your friends, your family, people that you meet that say, let's go out and grab a drink. You have to, at those points, every opportunity you have, say, oh, I don't drink, I'm actually an alcoholic. And then when they kind of do that thing where they go, oh, I'm sorry, then that's a perfect opportunity for you to let them know, no, it's not this thing that has to be shameful and kept in the dark. I'm just letting you know that I don't drink. It's actually an extremely small part of my life. And if someone wants to come into your life and build a friendship off of that, it should not matter whether you drink or not. And if it does matter to that person, that lets you know that you don't need that person in your life. So at 3 years, I'm amazingly happy. Like everyone has good and bad days, but on almost any given day, I'm a happy person. Me and my girlfriend are the best that we have ever been. My relationships with all of my friends are great, and I've grown myself into a person that I wanted to be. And it was just through years of saying, what would a good person do right now? What, in this situation that I'm in, maybe not what I will do right now, but what would a person do that is the kind of person that I want to be? And then you continually ask yourself and then act upon that. And the next thing you know, you don't have to ask yourself so much. You just kind of start doing it. And now looking back, like now at this point, 3 years down the line, that's just what I do. I have become the person that I wanted to be through kind of faking it till you make it, And it feels weird saying fake it because you are actively doing it. But I guess the aspect of faking it is that it's not your knee-jerk reaction in a situation. But in time, you develop a pattern, and then it does become a natural aspect of yourself. Reflecting upon all this, I think I'm still just blown away by the amount of people that I've been able to reach and been able to help. And that is always really humbling, because ultimately I am just a guy that is living his life, and I'm not like selling anything. I'm just letting people know how much better my life has gotten. And my light just kind of flickered out. Um, but and I just want to share that with people. I just want other people to know how much better their life can be, and they don't have to be a part of any kind of like uh, secluded clique of people or this any crazy way of thinking. It's just about being open and honest, and kind of like scooping out all the dark secrets that we have, you know, and that's just kind of the life that I've built. I didn't even know if I was going to do a 3-year video, because I was like, I don't really know what to say that is too much different from my regular day to day, you know, on any other kind of given video. But I guess kind of in closing is that when the amount of days of sobriety starts falling away and you kind of stop counting them, then you really have your barometer is really working, letting you know that holy shit, like I'm doing this. My new life is taking hold, and it's not so much about sober or not. It's more about these new goals that I've set up and this new way of life and this new way of thinking and building relationships with people. And that's how sobriety becomes this distant thing, and all the urges to drink fall off. And that's why when people even ask me now, they'll say, what do you do when you have the urge to drink? I never, ever have the urge to drink, because nothing is tempting about that previous life. And you just have that knowledge of knowing that will never ever help any situation that you're in. And on top of that, I mean, my new identity is so centered around not drinking that not only would I be massively letting myself down, but you know, a lot of people that follow my channel know me in my life. I wouldn't do that to them, and I couldn't do that to them, but nor do I want to. I have no desires to do that. And that's why I think it is so important to be as open as possible about this, because then you don't really have, like, you would really have to try to hide that. And it's not sustainable. You will slip up and someone will notice it, but then you basically have this support network of people saying, no, you said you were an alcoholic and that you weren't drinking anymore, and I'm not going to drink with you, and I'm going to do my best to help you get out of that. You know, when you internalize it, it's just people don't really know what's going on. And even the people closest to me at the the bottom barrel of my drinking, they didn't know the extent of all of it. My best friends and my girlfriend, like, no one knew the absolute extent of it. And I didn't want them to know because I was ashamed of it. But now in sobriety, I've come out and I would let them know all the crazy shit that I was doing. I would go to the brewery and I'd fill a growler and I'd hide it underneath my bathroom sink, and I'd be watching a movie with my girlfriend, and I would go to the bathroom and take bathroom breaks, and I would be chugging beer out of a growler. And then, you know, and it's all these things that looking back, I'm like, that's fucking pure lunacy. But in that state of mind, it seemed logical. You know, it was this poisoned logic, but it seemed logical to me at the time. And and now I'm just about living my life, man, and trying to get other people to realize that, like, all they got to do is do these simple processes, and their life will greatly improve. I know I'm kind of going on like 14 minutes here. And like I said, I didn't really know too much of what to talk about on my 3-year video that I haven't probably stated in other videos, but I wanted to make a 3-year video. So anyway, here it is, you guys. Like, share, subscribe. Please share this with anyone that you think it might help. I always appreciate all the love and support. And always ask any questions that you want, or feel free to hit me up, because sometimes people just need someone to listen, and I'm always here to listen for you guys. And I appreciate everything that you guys have done for me. So thank you very much, and I will see you guys next video.